What kind of strange creatures do forests in many parts of the world hide? Aside from encountering wild animals that inhabit them, there have been cases of people who have recorded on video something that appears to be an animal, but also human. There was the case of a YouTuber who went into a forest on his motorcycle. When would he come across this creature on his way? When he was sighted, this thing ran faster than the motorcycle itself and disappeared into the thick foliage. Whatever it is, that video has been in my mind for a long time, trying to unravel it, but not even the most expert in the field has been able to find its origin. The only thing I have been able to associate it with is a goblin. I talked about this video a long time ago, but every time someone mentions that I should make a video about forests, that creature comes back to my mind. But the Green Sea is also home to paranormal entities, and psychopaths are not exempt from being seen here too. And the most frequent ones, the fearsome witches, who make their home and their workplace in this inhospitable, desolate foliage. And if you finish watching this entire video, it will surely be difficult for you to get a pleasant sleep today. And without further ado, get comfortable in your seat, because today Uncle Sam is going to show you 15 people who captured strange things in the forest. Number 15. There's very little information about this video born on TikTok. It is quite strange. And before I tell you about it, I would like you to watch it. And most importantly, I would like to know what you think of it, since there's a lot of debate about its veracity. So now watch it and pay attention.
Amigo, no me puedo mover. No me puedo mover. A la ver. Su madre. Amigos, me está hablando, me está hablando. Amigos, me está hablando, Amigos, me está diciendo algo, no le entiendo. No le entiendo. No le entiendo, amigos. No le entiendo. Amigos. 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 ¡Su padre! ¡Padre! Amigos, ¿dónde está? ¡Ay! ¡Ah, la bestia! ¡Puta madre, no me... Amigos, me estaba hablando. Yo lo estaba escuchando en mi mente, amigos. Yo lo estaba escuchando en mi mente. A ver. ¡Ah, la bestia! No mames. Amigos, ¿alguien más lo escuchó? Amigos, ¿alguien más lo escuchó? Por favor, díganme, porque no mames, no. Yo lo estaba escuchando, ¿qué me decía, amigos?
The little that is known about this document is that a young man decided that it would be a good idea to go for a walk in the middle of the night in a forest. Perhaps the author was a hiker, but in the middle of his journey he came across a strange individual who remained still, motionless at all times. For some reason the camera could not focus on him properly, but his appearance radiated a lot of mystery. This subject, as can be seen in the images, practically froze the young man. And not only that, the boy says that this being was speaking to him in his mind, but he couldn't understand it. This subject manipulated him for more than 2 minutes, but when he finally let go, the young man ran away scared with many questions in his mind. Some believe that the boy was faking it. Others assume that the boy encountered a being with psychic powers and even called this individual a sorcerer. What do you think about this? Is it true that this being manipulated the mind of this hiker? You be the judge in these types of strange documents.
Amigos. Amigos.
Number 14. Many travelers who go camping in the woods prefer to spend the night in their cars instead of tents, since they feel safer, since it could happen that a ferocious bear attacks them while they sleep. But what happened to this man was not exactly a wild animal that he captured that night, but it was not a human either, and he is not sure about that. The young man says that he was about to close his eyes when he heard strange sounds approaching his vehicle. He quickly took out his phone and saw what you see on the screen. It is a huge face, possibly of an animal with dark fur, and the shape of its face is like that of a feline, although I am not entirely sure. Several users assume that it is a panther or a puma. Others believe that it looks a lot like the face of a demon and even suppose that it is a narwhal. That creature only managed to peek and then disappeared without a trace. I found the video on Facebook. It did not contain any description, so its origin is a complete mystery. Number 13. There are those who like to venture into the forests by means of their motorcycles or bicycles. A fairly common and healthy practice, but keep in mind that this sport, or hobby, is somewhat dangerous, since you could run into traps set by people with malicious intentions, or simply because you are taking a rather hostile route and fall violently, or you could come across something quite unusual on your way, and this is the case of this athlete. And what makes his incident worse is that afternoon he went alone to the forest. It all started when the young man stopped, since on his way he found 2 paths. While the young man was choosing which path to follow, something caught his attention, which frightened him. And we will soon realize who is the author of his confusion.
Oh god, there's even more bones than last time. Looks like we've already passed it a while ago, but that tree is gone. Oh! It's just dark as hell in here. I'm probably gonna turn around soon. Oh, there's 2 ways. Holy crap, dude, this trail goes on forever. It just got really quiet really fast.
Again, in the background he comes across a strange humanoid-looking creature. That thing stays still while it waits for him. It is pale and its presence scared him so much that it took the poor boy many seconds, which were hours for him, to turn on his motorcycle and go about his life. What is that thing? Is it hard to tell? Although the young man thinks he encountered a skinwalker or walrus, it is a creature that has no fur, is extremely pale and stares at him intently. The truth is that he did very well to leave and not try to decipher its origin. And once again we ask ourselves the same question: what is that creature? It is hard to tell, so this time we will remain uncertain. Number 12. In the middle of a forest, a girl named Natalia and her friends came across an abandoned psychiatric hospital that was barely standing. Algae and weeds are growing in the cracks of the building, but as the young people approach the facility, something strange happens. Take a close look at the second level of the hospital. You can clearly see the figure of a little boy who, warned of the presence of these young people, looks out the window and is captured by the camera of this young woman, but as the video progresses, the entity is not seen again. The text that can be read in the video is in Portuguese and translated into Spanish. It says that the footage was captured in a psychiatric hospital and also says that the figure they captured is the ghost of a child who occupied a room in this abandoned hospital hidden in the shadow of a real prisoner.
É bem escondido da La Rosa, que é onde o povo ficava, tipo, real presaço. Bom, a gente tá indo agora pro necrotério. Eu tô, tipo, agora eu tô com medo. Agora eu tô com medo, amiga. Olha aí.
Number 11. If you're planning to take a walk in the forest, you'll think twice when you finish watching this video. Mike is the name of the author of this footage. It went viral on the TikTok platform when the young man, in the middle of his adventure, began to hear strange sounds in the middle of this desolate forest. A sound that he could identify as the one made by sidecars, which are normally known in American movies. The young man was puzzled by the fact that he was miles away from the city and therefore it made no sense to hear this sound in this inhospitable forest, but what he later captured would leave him with many more questions.
Do you hear it? It's the fucking ice cream man.
As Mike looked around hoping to find the source of such a sound, he caught images of what appears to be a strange individual or a humanoid creature, but if we zoom in we can see that it is a figure with the appearance of a man. That thing is completely dark. It seems to be wearing a completely black outfit that covers it from head to toe. It is so devoid of color that its eyes are just two white dots that stare at the camera and suddenly the video cuts out. Could there be any connection between the sound of the cart and this guy? Could it be that the TikToker was close to a pervert? Who would be using this modus operandi to commit their crimes by luring the most innocent? Tell me what you think about it. Number 10. This video could be very useful to you if you ever venture on a road far from civilization. This happened to a man and his footage is not paranormal at all, but it is quite interesting. This adventurer decides to travel by car on this uninhabited and dark road in the middle of the night. His surprise was even greater when, in the middle of the journey and in the distance, he notices a strange man who was walking on the edge of this road in the middle of a forest. It was obvious that this individual was asking for a ride. He had a backpack in his hands. Maybe he suffered some mishap or his car broke down a few meters back, who knows. But what the driver did was drive straight ahead without looking back, and many will surely judge him as selfish and inconsiderate, since his attitude was quite indifferent after denying this man help. But this driver has his own codes, and one of them is not to pick up anyone on the road. Maybe he says this from his own experience, since one does not know what kind of people could get into our car and their intentions, but tell me, what would you do in his place? Would you also ignore them like he did? Or would you let a stranger get into your car? Tell me your decision about it. Number 9. This footage is quite famous, since a drone was the one who captured something strange deep in a forest in England. The video was taken in a place called Kennet Chase. The drone was watching a certain part of the forest when it suddenly made eye contact with a mysterious figure who, although she looks like a little girl wearing a whitish outfit, the child realizes that she is being recorded, and at that moment she enters the forest and the video ends. Some doubt that it is a little girl, since due to her size, she is more likely to be an adult woman who has possibly escaped from a psychiatric center. This is due to her whitish clothing. Other locals have also said that this forest is quite frequented by people who perform rituals, so it is presumed that this figure would belong to a witch. So, it is a ghost girl, a soul in pain, a mentally unhinged person, or a sorceress. You have the last word. Number 8. If we immerse ourselves in a forest, there is a high probability of running into certain people who love to perform rituals. It was the subject of the previous top, but it is logical that here we are also going to find the fearsome witches. This video was recorded by a resident of the country of Kenya, located in West Africa. He made this evidence that you see on the screen, which is somewhat vague and confusing, but the images can also lead to misinterpretations, since many users believe that she suffers from a mental problem, while the locals believe that this woman is a fearsome sorceress, who practices her trade in this part of the region. That is what is read in the description of where I found this footage. But returning to the subject, the man who is recording follows her during her journey. She walks awkwardly. It is unknown what is causing such difficulty, but one could also assume that she drank a lot of alcohol or applied a bad dose of some medication. But the man thinks otherwise. According to what he assumes, she is very weak because she performed a ritual in which her intention was to turn into an animal in the same style as a Nawal, but that she would have returned to her human form, which is why she would be so weak. While in the audio you can hear the man speaking, she also responds in an unknown dialect. She concludes her journey by climbing to the roof of a residence. It is not known if it is his roof or the neighbors, but the woman begins to act in a very strange way. And the thing is that this video was classified as the appearance of a witch, but yes, it is up to you whether you believe it or not. You know that you are the judge and you will have the final verdict of this incredible clip. Number 7. In top videos like this, one of the most intrepid urban explorers cannot be missed. The late exploring Witani guy captured something back then that seems very likely to be considered a fearsome witch. The year was 2020, and in the middle of a pandemic, Donnie first addresses his audience to be very careful with the fearsome disease. After that, he enters a dark forest, a place he had visited in the past, and according to him, he had met a strange woman who jumped out of a tree.
Whoa! Hello? Hello? What the hell? Hello? Wow, guys, what the hell is going on right now? Hello? What the hell? Hello? Hello? Guys, it's right there. Hello? Are you okay? Hello? What the hell? In the name of Jesus, I command you to stay back right now. Stay back. I'm warning you. Guys, there's a freaking demon right on the floor, walking on its hands. In the name of Jesus, I command you to stay away. Oh. What the hell? What the hell?
But in this new adventure, the boy meets that strange woman again. He found her there in the background by the river with her arms outstretched. Although Donnie tried to talk to her, this lady who is immune to socializing instead becomes threatening and somewhat violent. The woman began to chase Donnie to try to catch him, but he rebuked her in the name of Jesus. He probably thought that she was possessed or that she was in fact the devil himself personified. She crawls on the ground, even walks skillfully on all fours. She suffers from some mental illness. But the vast majority still suspect that it is a sorceress who made her home in this section of the gloomy forest. Number 6. In the Philippines, there is a monster from their mythology, which is called the Manaranggal. A feminine-looking creature with enormous fangs and wings, which give it the appearance of a vampire. This video was recorded somewhere in the woods of the Philippines. In it, we can see a group of young people who are inspecting an abandoned house in the middle of the thick foliage. The young people were looking around in fear, and little did they know that seconds later they would be victims of the fearsome Manananggal.
Ano ba? Ayun pare, may orbs. Let's go!
Ano ka ba? Tingnan mo doon. Kang maingay.
Ayan,
ano mo, maririnig tayo eh.
Dervish tayo.
Pare yun oh. Parang may
wala
orbs.
na.
Huwag na natin kasama. Ayun doon, parang may duwende oh.
This feminine appearance, and as described, has wings and emits a deafening scream that made the young people run. The demonic aspect that it houses is notorious, but there are also detractors regarding the origin of this mysterious presence. Many say that it would actually be a witch, a sorceress who lives in this place and who did not like that strangers invaded her domains, and that for this same reason she was very angry and made them run away in terror. Is it true that these types of characters have the ability to transform their bodies at will? If any theory crosses your mind, it would be good if you spread it in the comments box. Number 5. This evidence is one of the strangest, and it is about a strange woman who is seen in a remote area of the forest. These guys entered with their vehicle in search of this woman, and after hours of waiting they managed to record her at the end of a road. As you can see, she seems to have already seen him and looks out from behind an old abandoned flag house. From there she makes eye contact again. It is then that we can describe her fearsome appearance. She is flesh-colored and seems to walk on 4 limbs. It has bright red eyes, and the most unbearable thing about seeing it is its demeanor. Its hate-filled face reflects that it is totally hostile, and at one point it seems to anger it and it jumps towards the boys. The young people named this entity the Kakak creature, and little is known about what it really is, but it is something like the Indonesian Nawalas, a type of witch that can transform its appearance into that of an animal, but on this occasion it went a bit too far, because we cannot familiarize it with anything that exists. What is that thing? That is what many ask, but imagine walking around here alone and coming across this aberration. So tell me, what would you do? Number 4. This video was not exactly recorded by a person, but by a circuit camera in a place near a forest. The video you see on the screen went viral in the English-speaking community and, as you can see in the images, it happened in 2021. During the 6 minutes that the video lasts, the image of this strange woman is captured performing some incoherent actions. At first, it may seem somewhat comical, but if you continue watching the sequence, you will realize that she seems to be immersed in her own world, lost in some corner of her sick mind. The woman begins her strange routine by walking and dancing with a broom in her hands. She moves around the entire section of this place, and her whitish outfit will instantly make you think that she is a sorceress or a witch. Her mental state is put on trial as soon as we see her act, but at one point in the recording and while positioning herself to the right side of the frame, and as if by magic, she disappears into smoke, visually disconnecting from the camera, but after a few seconds she reappears. You will surely think that it is a work of editing, but apparently it is not. First of all, the video is being recorded from the surveillance camera monitor, and as you can see in the images, you can see the time and date of the recording, but the second she disappears, time continues running normally. There is no jump in seconds or minutes to consider it a fake. So, was this woman really a witch? And did she perform that night? Or is it all a well-planned trick? If you can explain this last theory, it would be fascinating if you did so in the comments section below. Number 3. During the next 3 steps of this top, we will see a marathon of videos from a horror-themed channel, which is originally from Indonesia. In this part of the continent, these young people are doing a good job. They are young hiking YouTubers who spread terror to their subscribers. As I mentioned, these are some guys who go on adventures, especially in wooded places. Their findings are more than impressive. They capture different monsters or demons from their mythology on video. Let's start with the first one, and although you may not believe it, it's the most harmless one in the catalog. These guys went into the forest and it didn't take long for them to capture something that looked like a woman flying in the sky. According to these young people, they believe that she is the abominable Kuntilanak, a creature from Indonesian mythology. It is a creature with the shape of a pregnant woman, who cannot give birth to her child and who supposedly had a type of curse while alive, while other users classify her as a witch, but in other versions of the legend she is described as a feminine, vampiric and vengeful spirit. And finally, if you noticed, she is quite similar to the lady in white, which we commonly know. This footage seems to reflect her manifestation. The boys, powerless to do anything else, just watch her hidden and terrified, since she could take revenge. The female is traveling through the sky with total tranquility and her appearance lends itself too much to confusing her with the Kuntilanak or, for us, just another witch in the world of the paranormal. Number 2. Approaching the most important site on the top, these YouTubers have managed to capture different monsters on their channel. One that was on the ground walking with 4 limbs. The other that showed us was a feminine-looking creature flying. And this one that we will see right now lives in the deep and dark waters of this lagoon. In the last adventure carried out by these young people, they submerged themselves in this lake by means of a small boat. Their intention was to try to capture on video the fearsome Lady of the Water, a type of aquatic demon. They say that this type of entity likes to eat raw meat, especially if it is fresh. That is why these intrepid young people grabbed a whole raw chicken, added a red condiment to it, which gave it an attractive smell, which was used as bait. For hours, the boys navigated and put the chicken in the water to see if the fearsome entity would appear, but after a long time had passed, they finally succeeded in their mission.
Tapi lain, sekilas saja ya. Yang banyak. Ya, apa guys? Apa? Main. Pelan-pelan. Sen. Kelihatan nggak tadi? Iya kelihatan cuy. Jangan-jangan yang pertama tadi? Oh enggak cuy. Untung kau sempat angkat Pain. Ayo Pain, pegang pakai tangan aja Pain. Pegang. Ya pegang. Kelihatan nggak tadi? Iya kelihatan cuy. Jangan-jangan yang pertama tadi? Oh enggak cuy. Untung kau sempat angkat Pain. Ayo Pain, pegang pakai tangan aja Pain. Pegang. Ya pegang Pain. Jangan sampai diambil Pain. Ya kau tahu di samping situ aja samping. Taruh sini aja. Fotonya turun dulu. Jangan pegang situ aja. Hah? Udah apa situ tahan situ aja tahan. Tangannya sangat kuat. Ya, tapos.
Su aspecto monstruoso es perceptible cuando se asoma a la superficie y deja ver su atemorizante rostro. En un comienzo solo vimos una mano con dedos extremadamente alargados, misma que estiraba para poder alcanzar la carnaza, y en la tercera parte de su video, la criatura coge a uno de los jóvenes que lo jala al agua, mientras que sus amigos lo ayudan a volver al barco, pero al parecer el chico ya no vuelve a ser el mismo, parece sentirse mal, y momentos después el video concluye. El idioma en la que están hablando complica mucho saber la trama entera de la historia, pero a simple ojo todo es entendible. La gente hispana que comentó este video piensan que se trata de una alquimista o bruja, pero bajo tu percepción podrías desencriptar este misterio. No dudes en hacer visible tu teoría en el rectángulo de los comentarios.
Number 1. The item that ranks number 1 on the list is quite uncomfortable to watch. It was recorded by an Indonesian YouTuber who makes various horror-themed videos, but specializes more in urban explorations in wooded areas. This young man has been called a witch hunter in his region because he finds it easy to capture these types of characters, but what he would encounter that night, wouldn't he be able to classify it as a witch or an animal or creature of uncertain origin? The video begins with his visit to a certain point in an unknown forest. The young man sets out on his journey completely alone as he advances through the thick forest. He suspects that he is not alone, as he begins to hear a sequence of mysterious sounds. These noises seem to be coming from deep within the dark forest. The young man did wrong and tried to find out who made this strange sound. That is why he gradually approaches the epicenter of the sound, and that is when his ordeal begins. Let's watch his video and, according to your criteria, tell me what you think that creature that appears at the end of his video is?
Auzubillahiminasyaitonirrajim. Sarung hilang teman-teman. Oh, HP-nya masih ada. Sarungnya nggak ada. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ini ada lagi. Astagfirullahaladzim. Saya ngeluarin pisau dulu. Allah. Teman-teman. Ini ada lindir. Auzubillahiminasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hei! Mana kau? Hah? Mati dulu. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Astagfirullahaladzim. Astagfirullahaladzim.
In the background, you can see a strange creature. Her unkempt, thin, and pale appearance, coupled with her abnormal attitude, makes one think the worst, that she is a fearsome witch. Others have commented that she looks more like one and even believe that she is a humanoid, but not everything is scary because of her appearance, but also because of the action she performs. Aside from trying to catch the YouTuber, she has something in her hands that looks like she is eating it. The sudden movement of the camera that the young man made due to the shock makes it very difficult to see clearly what it was, but it seems to be wrapped in a blanket, while the woman is putting it in her mouth. At that moment, she jumps towards the cameraman, but after taking a few steps he falls to the ground. The young man added a text on the screen that more or less gives us to understand that an invisible force made him stumble, and strangely the woman does not reappear in the rest of the video. Many internet users claim that the scream after the woman's appearance is being sung by an animal that is near the lady or the creature or whatever it is. Perhaps a baby lamb, which is wrapped in that blanket and which the lady is eating. But there was also a lot of discussion in the comments about the origin of that animal wrapped in that blanket, since a large fraction of users assume that it is not an animal, but a small human. But, what do you think about this perception? Is this video proof of a real witch or a narwhal or a humanoid being? What do you think about the other videos placed in this top? If you have any information you want to add, no matter how small, please let me know and do so in the comments box. And please, do not close this tab without first giving me a little support by giving me a like. Comment if you want me to continue talking about this topic. You can also recommend my videos to your friends and colleagues. Subscribe if you are new here. That's all, guys, and I can't leave without wishing you a very good night.